I've started sending telepathic text messages to my ex, and I swear he's getting them. He's blocked right now. Like, I can't talk to him anymore. Like, we have to be in no contact. Like, I've decided for the sake of my mental health, we need to stop talking, right? So what I've been doing is sending telepathic text messages and just telling him the things that I want to say in my head and, like, sending it to him, right? He's getting them because I got a text message on my Apple Watch, not on my phone because he's blocked.
What?
Hang on just a second. You have the power to telepathically send messages to people, and the only person that you want to communicate with telepathically is a dude that you blocked on all of your social media and your phone? How in the hell does that work? But more importantly, why are you sending him telepathic text messages? If I had that power, I'd be reaching out to people with money to give me Bitcoin, or to a delivery service to send me an unlimited free supply of steak. You know, something cool like that. Wouldn't reach out to an ex though, mainly because I have respect for myself and I don't feel like putting myself through a particular type of torture that no man deserves. I think my telepathic powers would be better off being sent off to the CEO of Nintendo to get him to stop doing dumbass subscription services and just allow people to play the games that they want. But we all know that's never gonna happen. What do you say, gentlemen and gents? If you had the power to send telepathic text messages, who would you send them off to? Let me know in the comment section down below.
But on my Apple Watch, because you can still see blocked messages on Apple Watches. And and it was like, hey, I miss you. I mean, it wasn't exactly that, but I know that was the meaning behind the text that he sent. And so I fully believe that my telepathic text messages are being received and understood. And that can keep me in no contact. That's what's the driving force.
That's stupid. You're stupid. Stop being stupid.
I'm not gonna lie to you, gentlemen and gents. I just had an Octanian Persian rug smuggler hit me in the face with a hammer just so I could be dumb enough to try to understand what's happening, and I don't think he hit me in the head hard enough. Because I cannot understand how you can be no contact with somebody and yet still contact them with telepathic messages. I mean, the mere idea of a telepathic text message is kind of stupid within itself, but it's just kind of giving me a headache to try to make sense of any of it. And then when you add into this idea that he sent a message that didn't say I miss you, but she interpreted it as such anyway, it makes it dumber than it already is. I mean, you have this power to be able to communicate telepathically, and yet you reach out to the one person you don't want to talk to. That makes no sense at all, and I've just been hit in the face with a hammer. I hope you guys are proud to the lengths that I'm willing to go to try to make sense of this stuff. My head hurts.
Here, take 2 of these.
New print. Little. Yellow. Different.
There's this dating epidemic that's happening right now. Women do not need men to get bank accounts, houses. They have careers on their own. And so as a result, it's challenging societal norms of the way men value themselves when it comes to being successful for relationships. Whereas the flip side, a lot of women are saying men need to step it up emotionally, which is why I talk a lot about emotional intelligence and how that's what women want. There's this push and pull happening right now with society. I want to know though, what are your thoughts?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that on us!
Well, good news, gentlemen and gents. I just took another blow to the face with a hammer, and I think it's actually kind of set things right. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in my thoughts here, because lady, listen, this whole argument that women were never allowed to have bank accounts or own houses or have jobs is incredibly stupid. Women have been able to have bank accounts and houses and jobs for the longest time. This is nothing new. And yet this is the foundation for your incredibly absurd argument that men need to do better in order to get with women who are 5 times worse than their grandmothers. And I'm failing to see the correlation between personal banking and men becoming emotionally intelligent. Even though the majority of us are perfectly fine with our emotions, we just don't feel the need to go on TikTok to humiliate ourselves by complaining about every little thing that doesn't go our way. The massive shift in why people aren't dating anymore has more to do with modern women just becoming undateable than it is the men who refuse to date them. It really isn't any more complicated than that, sister.
I know it, your family knows it, dogs know it.
One of my hottest takes is that true love and soulmates and the one is all sexist propaganda. Fairy tales and movies function as tools that condition women to eagerly disrupt their lives and center men and center romance and view domesticity as like romantic destiny rather than subjugation and oppression. And it's that video that I saw a while ago in here of like, marriage is just DEI. Like, I really believe that. And I'm someone who like loves love. I want to get married and have kids. Like, I want all that.
Liar, liar, liar. Whew. Good news, gentlemen and gents. I just dodged a major blow from a hammer. And this is a good thing too, because I think I need my head in order to make sense of any of this. Woman, you cannot consider yourself to be a loving person when your key personality trait revolves around the concept of feminism, because the core point of feminism is rampant misandry. Now, here's the thing, woman. There is no scenario in your life where you're going to be able to find a man and start a family and not have your entire life change. Your priorities are going to change once you get into a serious relationship, once you get married, and once you have kids. You want the cake and you want to be able to eat it too, but it doesn't work that way. And instead of just accepting that you're going to have to make compromises in life, you're just going to blame this imaginary subjugation of women, which really does not exist. If it did exist, you would not be allowed to post this cringe on TikTok because it insults the very oppressors that you're claiming are ruining your life, which they're clearly not because they don't exist, but maybe they should because you have nothing of interest to actually say.
But literally any piece of media that you grew up with that even slightly implied to you that women in some way exist to like serve men or be the other half to a man, or you can only find completion through like romantic partnership, or you know, your wedding day is going to be the happiest day of your life, or anything like that. Propaganda. To me, propaganda. Sorry. I just really believe it's so important for us as women to construct a very whole sense of self and excitement for the future that is not just purely patriarchal.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Well, that's just the thing right there, woman. You have no sense of self. You based your entire life off of the concept of feminism, and look where it's gotten you. You're incredibly miserable, you're judgmental, and you blame everything you don't like as if it's propaganda. Now, I do agree that so much emphasis being placed on your wedding day is incredibly foolish, but that's not what we're talking about here. The type of man that you desire does not exist. You are not going to find a masculine, confident man who's also a militant feminist. A self-respecting man knows better than to buy into that garbage. Now, the concept of the happily ever after is not propaganda. It just plays into the fantasy that modern women want. They want to be able to find a good guy and settle down so they don't have to work anymore, maybe start up a family and be complete in their lives. There's nothing wrong with that inherently, but you bought into it so much that you've made it the end-all be-all of your existence instead of just being a halfway decent person. But since you're so far down the feminism road, there is absolutely no hope for you, sister.
You have failed conclusively. It's over. And there is nothing that you can do here in this room that can turn that around.
I fucking love when I see a girl in college and she is in the tiniest outfit and she is just drinking so much. I love when she's doing get ready with me to go to the bars. Yeah, you're exactly where you should be. Because I hate when I see girls at home with their boyfriends ruining, wasting their college experience. Drinking isn't fun for everyone. Who gives a fuck? Get out there, do something.
Emotional, damn it!
Okay, I think I'm safe. I just locked myself in a broom closet and they're throwing hammers at the door, but I think it's pretty secure, so I think I'm okay to comment on this one. What we have here is a woman who's been a victim of the scam known as the Western college system. The college experience has been boiled down to 4 years of drunken debauchery where you take some classes that you're never going to use to get a $100,000 piece of paper that's not really going to benefit you in the future. Now, there are some women out there who are fortunate enough to meet a good guy and want to make things work with him, but for some reason, this woman hates the fact that there's people out there who don't really feel like they need to waste their time or money getting drunk in the pursuit of higher education. I mean, just look at her. She is so triggered by it that she needs to mock them for virtually no reason outside of the fact that she's insecure over the fact that she has no boyfriend or any real life that doesn't involve consuming copious amounts of alcohol.
Like, I'm 6 months post-grad, or however many months. I still go out and stuff, but like, no, there's nothing like being in a fucking bikini and a mini skirt going to a date. I don't want to, like, I'm not saying I want to do that now. I mean, would be fun, but like, I don't want to do that now.
Liar, liar, liar.
I just love when I see girls do it in college, because I'm like, that's exactly what you should be doing, and you should embrace that shit. You should embrace that shit and don't care if you're like, I don't want you to go out. You cannot go out for the rest of your life. Fucking live it up.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
Woman, tell me that you peaked in college without telling me that you peaked in college. I mean, part of me gets it. You went to college and then immediately started drinking and partying and then ended up getting into bed with Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Marco, Chang, Wang, Takeda, and Atticus, and you ended up measuring your self-worth because all of these frat boys wanted to get with you. Now, you're 6 months after graduation and you still want to go to these bars and you still want to party it up, but you're finding yourself surrounded by people who are younger than you even though they share the same level of immaturity. You'll walk into these college bars and pretty much everyone who's still going to class is going to look at you with disgust because you're older and you're hanging out with people who are significantly younger than you. So your only logical recourse is to tell people to do the exact same thing that you did in college even though it didn't benefit you in the slightest. Which just goes to show that your pursuit of a higher quote-unquote education was completely wasted because it left you dumber than you were before, and I didn't even think that was humanly possible.
Good, but I would say it's horrible yet terrible. Ugly yet disgusting. You suck.
This video was brought to you in support from the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon. Gentlemen and gents, the fact that you support me in the way that you do makes the fact that I'm currently under attack by an unrelenting storm of hammers all the more worth it, and there aren't enough claw hammers in the world that's going to stop me from doing the work that I do, and I have you to thank for it. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting my work, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month gets you access to exclusive content you're not going to find on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the pinned comment down below for you. And of course, you can always support the channel by liking this video, sharing, leaving comments, and if you're enjoying my particular brand of comedy, I hope I've earned your subscription today. So thank you for all of your support, gentlemen and gents.
Hi everyone, it's Millie. I want to take a moment to address something that I think is bigger than just me. Something that affects every young woman who grows up under public scrutiny. I think this is very necessary to talk about. I started in the industry when I was 10 years old. I grew up in front of the world, and for some reason, people can't seem to grow up with me. Instead, they act like I'm supposed to stay frozen in time, like I should still look the way I did on Stranger Things Season 1.
I must have missed 60 minutes. What are you saying?
Good news, gentlemen and gents. They stopped throwing hammers at me because we started talking about how overrated the series known as Stranger Things truly was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was fine the first season, but I don't understand how it became the cultural phenomenon it truly did. I guess it's just a testament that even a raging kleptomaniac like Winona Ryder can still find work, so I guess that's something. Now, I couldn't care less about Millie Bobby Brown's personal life, but that's just because I got better ways to waste my life than focus on something as meaningless as celebrity news. But even with that being said, I'm failing to see your argument here, considering that the first season of Stranger Things consisted of you running around at the age of 15 with a massive freaking buzz cut. But hey, whatever you gotta do to tell yourself so you don't have to deal with your own insecurities, am I right? Because as we all know, it's not a problem until it happens to an insecure celebrity.
And because I don't, I'm now a target. I want to talk about some of the articles that have recently released while I'm on my press tour, and some of the writers who are so desperate to tear young women down. One article reads, "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobby Brown aging so badly?" Written by Lydia Hawkett. "What has Millie Bobby Brown done to her face?" Written by John Eli. Millie Bobby Brown mistaken for someone's mum as she guides younger sister Ava through LA. Written by Cassie Carpenter.
And
Hang on a second, Millie. Are you seriously trying to put tabloid celebrity journalists on blast for saying stuff? I mean, lady, you do realize that's pretty much their bread and butter, right? Bashing celebrities for their looks is pretty much the easiest way to get a paycheck in that regard. It's either that or try to kiss your butt for whatever crappy movie you're trying to peddle, and it's just easier to make fun of the way you look. Now, I understand that you're starting to get a little older, and, you could be insecure about that. Nobody likes being single and reaching the age of 30. We see it all the time, but to be honest, I have no idea how old you are, so I'm just gonna do a Google search and sweet merciful crap! You're 21? You are 21 years old and you look like that? Well, it sounds to me like this journalist is doing humanity a favor by trying to figure out why you and your generation have aged like freaking milk. This is a scientific mystery that really does need to be solved.
Another article reads, Little Britain's Matt Lucas takes savage swipe at Millie Bobby Brown's new mummy makeover look. Written by Bethann Edwards. Amplifying an insult rather than questioning why a grown man is mocking a young woman's appearance. This isn't journalism. This is bullying. The fact that adult writers are spending their time dissecting my face, my body, my choices is disturbing.
You can't stand the heat, you better stay out of the kitchen.
That's where you're wrong, Millie. It's not bullying, it's business. Making fun of the way celebrities look has been around since the dawn of celebrity. It's nothing new, and that doesn't change just because you're insecure over the fact that you're aging terribly. And there's something you should know about your line of work. If you're going to join into that particular cult, then you can't be surprised when people make fun of you for it. You're in the spotlight all the freaking time. I'm still trying to figure out why, but I guess that's immaterial for what we're trying to say right now. The only way that these celebrity publications can actually make any money is if they are pandering to the lowest common denominator, and the lowest common denominator are people who like to make fun of other celebrities. Whether it's because they're jealous of your money or your fame, it doesn't matter. They go where the money is, and there isn't any money to be made in feminist puff pieces. And if you don't like it, well then that's your problem. Maybe you should have thought about that before entering into a business that is debauched and as horrible as Hollywood.
And the fact that some of these articles are written by women makes it even worse. We always talk about supporting and uplifting young women, but when it comes down to it, it seems a lot easier to just tear them down for clicks. Disillusioned people can't handle seeing a girl become a woman on her terms, not their own. I refuse to apologize for growing up. I refuse to make myself smaller to fit the unrealistic expectations of people who can't handle seeing a girl become a woman.
Hang on, Millie. Are you seriously trying to suggest that these people cannot stand the idea that you're going through basic human growth? I mean, where in the hell have you been for the last 21 years? No one's asking you to apologize for growing up. The majority of the population could not care less. Now, here's the thing about the cult of celebrity. It really does piss off a lot of people. You go on major platforms and you talk about major political ideologies and other shit that you know nothing about and don't really care about, and you demand that people think the same way that you do. Your average pleb does not care about feminism. They don't care about trying to save the environment or whatever other crap you're trying to peddle because we're too busy just trying to survive. So yeah, when there's some tabloid journalist out there who tries to knock you down a peg by taking a cheap shot at the way you look, there's gonna be people who are going to consume it. And that's not gonna change just because you're butthurt about it. If anything, it's just gonna make it worse because these videos you post are gonna be picked up by schmucks like me on the internet, and we're just gonna make fun of you for even more reasons.
I will not be shamed for how I look, how I dress, or how I present myself. We have become a society where it's so much easier to criticize than it is to pay a compliment. Why is it the knee-jerk reaction to say something horrible rather than just say something nice? If you have a problem with that, I have to wonder, what is it that actually makes you so uncomfortable? Let's do better. Not just for me, but for every young girl who deserves to grow up without the fear of being torn apart for simply existing.
No.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Millie, but the rampant hate that people have towards each other isn't going anywhere. The internet has pretty much removed everybody's filter, so now everyone's just being dicks to each other. And if you want to talk about being nice, let's go ahead and take a look at your rampant misandry when it comes to men. We've all seen the pro-feminist garbage that you try to peddle, and feminism is nothing if not relentlessly bashing men for the crime of existing. It's a two-way street, and your platform does not make you an expert when it comes to anything. Now, what's happening to you is nothing new. Celebrity news has been the biggest thing ever since the dawn of film, and people will consume it because there is a market. People would not be writing it if there wasn't people who are actually willing to read it. So my suggestion to you, Millie, is just to grow up, to shut up, and if you want people to stop talking smack about you, how about you actually put forth a product that people actually want instead of just putting out stuff that actually sucks? And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button, ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and make sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.